Hey, what's going on, everybody? It is Rich Perez welcoming you back to another dose of your weekly rundown. Join in with me, as always, my co-host all the way from the U, my brother from another, Kayson Davis. How you doing, Kay?
Good. I'm doing good. How you doing?
Doing pretty good, man. I got this COVID vaccine shot, so my arm kind of hurt a little bit, but
Oh, you ain't got your shot? How was it?
it wasn't that bad, man. They ain't make it like a they make it a hassle for me. The spot I went to, their site was only open for like a week at the time that I got it. So, I was there for probably 30, 40 minutes total between trying to get the shot, and then they make you sit and wait for like 15 minutes after you get the shot. So it was good, but I mean, my arm hurt, so.
Well, when do you get your second shot?
And end of next month. And end of next month. I gotta be back over there. So might have to take a couple days off from work after that one, sit down, because I heard heard that one puts you down a little bit.
Yeah, I heard that too. I heard the second one is kind of the big one, but I think everything will be all right. Hopefully, you'll be okay.
Yeah, man. If you believe in getting a shot, I encourage you to go get it. If not, got no problem with that either. That's your business.
Yeah, well, I'll get it eventually, but I think I don't know if the school's offering it now, but I'll get it eventually. Yeah, I'm not sure how Miami's doing it right now, so I'm not sure if they're offering it and stuff right now.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, don't please, ladies and gentlemen. I know we're gonna keep growing as the show goes on, but please do not be quiet, man. Talk to us. We love talking to you guys. I just feel like you guys haven't been engaging with us like you used to, man.
Yeah, definitely. Maybe we gotta do some things to try to get them more engaged here. Maybe we gotta ask them some questions.
I know, right? For real, man. So when we left off with you guys at the start of the show last week. We were talking about the going into the Elite Eight. We were at the Sweet 16. We got some right. We got some wrong. It's all good. Told you Michigan was going to move forward. Unfortunately, the entire conference of the ACC failed my guy Kayson Davis. So heads bowed on that one. That was not cool. But shout out to Michigan, man. I said Michigan will move on. Michigan is actually playing tonight against UCLA. And I didn't. Am I correct? Did I pick UCLA to win last week?
I'm not sure. Who did they play? Who did they play again?
UCLA.
What did they play again? I'm not sure. I don't remember. I think I might have picked UCLA too, but I don't remember who they played last week. Which is
I would tell you March Madness. They
played Alabama.
Gotta pull up to this. Yeah. I know you was talking about how dangerous Bama.
I picked Alabama.
Yeah, I want to say I picked UCLA to take down number 2 Alabama, man. Hey, you guys can correct me if you remember, but I'm almost sure I picked that, man. I know I picked Michigan before Florida State. I'm gonna stop saying that though. I don't want to rub anyone the wrong way. Nova failed me, lost to Baylor. You had Nova winning the whole thing, and now Baylor goes to the Final Four. They took out Arkansas yesterday. Houston took out our beloved Syracuse. Kayson actually called that one going exactly how it did. Shout out to Kayson. And Houston is also in the Final Four. They took down number 12 Oregon State. So number 1 versus number 2 in that side of the Final Four. Gonzaga and USC is at halftime. Gonzaga's up 49-30. And then later on the night, we got Michigan, UCLA.
Yeah, definitely. Like you said, I kind of predicted the way the Syracuse game was kind of going to go. I know with Week and Houston being such a great team, they was going to plan very well for Buddy, and that's kind of how it went. I also didn't know that Buddy was going to have the Defensive Player of the Year from the Athletic American Conference, I believe it is. I may be wrong. Don't quote me on that. But they had the Defensive Player of the Year over there. Houston's a great team, so That's kind of how I seen it. I seen it going. Alabama losing. I'm kind of surprised. UCLA's been on a great run. I think that we talked about it on him before. The Pac-12 deserves a big shout out here. They've been all their teams have kind of been looking great. Unfortunately, USC had to go up against Oregon, or maybe they'll have more teams kind of in the Elite Eight moving forward. So that was a little surprising because just how well Alabama was playing and how well they played all year. But UCLA is kind of on a high right now, so we're gonna kind of see how far they can go. I think this is their first Elite Eight or Final Four since like 2008 when Westbrook and them was there. So
Yeah,
that's big. That's big for them.
that is very big, man. And I know you guys will get at me. Yes, I picked Creighton to knock off Gonzaga. We both said we do not think Gonzaga will do it to be that undefeated team. We both. Do you still believe they're good? Do you still on track with that? That you think they're going to lose before the championship?
Yes, I haven't checked the score because they're playing right now, but I
They're up.
believe
They're up. They're up.
How much are they up by?
19.
They're up by 19
Yeah.
in the first half.
Yeah.
I was about to say I think tonight might be the night, but sheesh. Gonzaga has a good chance to win it all here, man. They might prove us wrong. I'm still not gonna take them. It's one of those things like with the Super Bowl, like when it's like history is kind of
Tampa, like how we were with Tampa.
yeah, like sometimes what
We were
will
wrong,
go
though.
wrong just will go wrong, and just like when Karl Anthony Towns and them there on the field, they end up losing to Wisconsin, and I think the Final Four. So I think something like that's gonna happen again. So I'm still gonna root against them, but me rooting against them has been working out for them. So there's that.
It's not me rooting against them, because I don't want to be viewed as a hater, because I'm not. But it's just like I just don't believe in you, and I'm not rooting against you. I just because of numerous factors, and this being the NCAA tournament, I just don't believe in you. I think they're gonna beat USC tonight, but Michigan,
Way to go out on a limb there.
Michigan, once they get past UCLA tonight, man, watch out on Saturday, because their coach Juwan Howard knows a thing or two about peaking at the right time in March. So he's gonna have those young men ready. They're doing their thing over there. Shout out Juwan Howard, man. I love it.
Yeah, definitely. I think Michigan will be a tough team for them too. Like I said, I thought it'd be a team in a bigger conference that's played a little more tougher competition than them that'd be able to knock them off. And Michigan's also another number one seed. Obviously, Gonzaga was the number one overall seed, but I don't think it'd be too surprising if they lose to Michigan.
Hey, you ready for this?
We are ready.
So Michigan, right? The loans, because we all thought this was supposed to be the year of the Big Ten, right? And it just didn't. Look, Michigan's the lone team left. Got Michigan going to the championship against Houston.
I really like what I've seen from Houston, not only from the Syracuse game, but what I've seen from them last night. I think their ability to play defense and they got some tough players over there. So I would take Houston in that one, to be honest, right now.
Wow.
I think
No
Houston.
love for Juwan Howard, man.
think-
We got to find a way to get coach on here, man.
I think Houston's defense will be able to pull through. I mean, maybe maybe I'm a little biased from what I've seen from them against Syracuse, but that defense is elite over there.
I believe you. I believe it.
Is
It's Juwan Howard, man.
Did they get their
Fab
best
five.
player back? I know he was out for a little while. I'm not sure if he's
Michigan?
back yet.
Not sure, but Fab Five. It's Juwan Howard. Hashtag bring back the banners.
You know what? If they do win, that's what he should say. That should be his exact lines. Bring back the
Hashtag
banners.
bring back the banners. We started it though. Just know, like it started here on the rundown. Bring back hashtag bring back the banners. Tweet it, and add us.
Definitely, I think that's what he should say. And then you know what? They got to get Chris Webber on board because it's really a Chris Webber.
But they beefing though. They still not cool, man. Him and Jalen Rose still don't like each other, even with Juwan Howard as the head coach.
I'm not too surprised by that. I think both of them being from Detroit and kind of anyone knows the situation and kind of how it transpired. They went. Well, Chris Webber kind of went against a Detroit guy, and if you watch the documentary, Jalen Rose
Fab
said he
Five.
was. Yeah, Jalen Rose said he wasn't messing with that. So that's a I guess it rivalry that goes way back. That's like a homegrown thing. So I'm not mad at Jalen for that.
I would like to see those guys get back together, though, man. Like they changed the game of basketball forever. Like they're imprinted. That's why they need to bring those banners back. But you remember those times, and you would just like to see those guys get back together because of what they did together. And you knew at one point that those guys were brothers.
Yeah, definitely. Just especially him and Chris Webber. Like I said, they go all the way back to their Detroit days from when they were kids.
High school,
So
not even high school, like before high school.
yeah, so it's unfortunate to see, but hopefully everything will come back together.
Yeah, hey, is what Michigan is doing now more impressive than when they made that run with Tim Hardaway Jr. It's my man's baby AI.
Trey Burke.
Yeah, is it more impressive than that run that they went on with those guys?
Yes, and the reason why it's more impressive to me is, I guess looking back in hindsight, and I guess we're gonna have to wait and see how this roster maybe develops. But that Michigan team had 6 NBA players on it. Mitch McGary was an NBA player, and he played very well for the Thunder for a little bit. Trey Burke, I believe, is still in the league. He might be with the Mavs, if I'm not mistaken. If not, he was with the Mavs last year. Tim Hardaway Jr. is with the Mavs right now. He has had a pretty decent career. Karis LeVert was coming off the bench as a freshman for that team. You see what Karis LeVert has turned into, and Glenn Robinson Jr. again, yeah, Glenn Robinson III, who was also an NBA player. I think he's somewhere in the NBA right now, but if not, he had a decent career before. I guess he was able to be out the league, but they had 5 or 6 NBA players on that roster. So like, I guess having the ability right now to look back on it, this run, especially with a new coach, because we knew what kind of coach. What's his name right now? Ben. I forgot his name. Michigan's old coach. He used to be the Cavs coach. I'm not sure he's with the Cavs no more. I think
No, he's not.
Beeline. It's Beeline, I believe his last name is. We knew how good of a coach he was, and for this to be Tim Hardaway, not Tim Hardaway,
Beeline, John Beeline.
yeah, Beeline. For this to be, why am I forgetting everybody's name right now? You were just talking about him from the Fab Five.
Juwan Howard.
Yes, for this to be Juwan Howard's first coaching job, I think it's pretty impressive.
I guess I'll say this. What maybe that run is more impressive than this one. Because one of the biggest things Juwan Howard was brought in to do was bring in McDonald's All-Americans. The whole time Baylon was the coach, and he did a phenomenal job. He never got a McDonald's All-American while he was coaching there. So while those guys ended up being very good, having very good NBA careers, still having very good NBA careers, none of them were McDonald's All-Americans.
Yeah, but you're saying that's why that run was better than this one?
I'm just playing devil's advocate.
So which run are you vouching for right now?
I'm vouching for Jawan's,
But
I'm just playing devil's advocate by saying that.
because I was gonna say, it sounds like you're going against him because if he's got all these 5-star McDonald's All Americans, then it sounds like they should be here. I think the point that you just made makes Beeline's point even more impressive because he was able to take non-McDonald's All Americans and turn them into not only great college players and have them all play together, but also they turned out to be pretty decent NBA players. So I think that's pretty impressive for all of them.
Yeah. Oh man, did you guys hear about the NBA buyout market?
I mean, yeah. I mean, most of us are from New York, so I'm pretty sure they heard about it.
Oh man. Well, you guys too, if you got to tune in, we did a like an emergency show last Thursday. Thursday was it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we did an emergency show last Thursday. What was the couple big news that went down? LaMarcus Aldridge, who we're gonna get into, he was getting the buyout at the time. Andre Drummond was also getting bought out. Lonzo Ball ended up staying. I forgetting some of the big stuff that went down there
Oladipo
because
got
there
traded to
was
the
big
Heat.
news. Oladipo got traded to the Heat at the last minute, like Mike Breen bang sound effect when Woj put that tweet out. Woj literally put that tweet out right after they said the deadline was over. So that was crazy. And we talked about that.
Kyle Lowry stayed.
Yeah, Kyle Lowry stayed. Kyle Lowry didn't go anywhere. Rajon Rondo got traded to the Clippers. Lou Williams is not retiring, even though he said he would. He's gonna stick it. He's gonna stick it out. But all that stuff happened, and we gave you guys our thoughts on that. We might give you some more. But then pandemonium happened. When we left you guys, we said that LaMarcus Aldridge would the team that was favorites to land him was the Miami Heat. He did not sign with the Miami Heat. He signed with the Brooklyn Nets. That is crazy. That is insanity. I have never seen anything like this in my life across sports. Maybe some of you who are watching that might be older than me have seen it in like baseball or something. I have never seen this before. I didn't see it with the Heat in 2010. I didn't see it with the Warriors when KD went there. Even with them signing DeMarcus Cousins, it is not like this. You got KD, Kyrie, James Harden as your big three. Then you bring in Blake Griffin. When we talked about the Blake Griffin move, I said he may not be the same player as far as his vertical goes, but I would argue now that he's a better player than he was when he was a cornerstone with the Clippers because he improved his game from beyond the arc, and he can stretch the floor off, like my point I was just saying, and he can distribute the ball for you. But now you got LaMarcus Aldridge in it. And I do not care that these dudes may not be the same players they were when, Aldridge was in Portland first, and then when he first got to San Antonio, or even a Blake Griffin when he was with the Clippers. These guys are still high caliber players who are good enough to be cornerstones for a team still to this day. It is a failed season if the Brooklyn Nets do not win a championship. They have to go all the way. They have too much talent not to do it. Nobody should beat this team. Nobody. I keep hearing people talk about, they got to do this just to beat LeBron and the Lakers. Me personally, I don't even know. I'm not even willing to say LeBron and the Lakers are going to the finals yet. But I don't know, man. This makes me think a little crazy about KD. Not, I give him his props all the time, but as far as his championship resume goes, I look at him a little differently because of where the moves he made to get those titles originally, and then what they're doing now. But I want to give Brooklyn props. Shout out to Sean Marks. Pat Riley has been known as the ultimate recruiter, and Sean Marks beat him to the punch when it comes to LaMarcus Aldridge.
Yeah, definitely. I'm kind of on the side with you guys. I know Stephen A has said that no one kind of wants to see them stack the deck like this. Is kind of unfair, but yeah, pretty much. I think it may be a little bit of insurance. We kind of don't know what's going to happen with KD. Obviously, we expect him to be back and be.
Is he supposed to be coming back though?
Yeah,
he's supposed to be coming back this week.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think we expect him to be back and be fully healthy, but obviously with him, we kind of don't know what his health is going to be 100%. And for Blake Griffin, not that I don't want to say he obviously he may be a little better player because he developed a better jump shot, but I think for the role that he is in right now, it makes him so much more of a better player in the sense that before he was asked to be the number 2 option. And obviously, at the stage he was maybe at in his career, I wouldn't say he was the best number 2 option, but maybe he needed to develop a little more. Now that he's developed a little more and he's like a number 4 or 5 option, that just seems a little unfair in a sense. So I think that in itself is interesting. But also for them to just sign Blake Griffin and then kind of get LaMarcus Aldridge to come over there, it's like both of those guys play the same position. Now, obviously, you can probably you can go small ball there and maybe play them together, but it's kind of like both of those guys is kind of definitely maybe ring chasing at this point because they gave up a lot of money to go over there, and they play the same position.
Yeah, well, that the plan seems like that's what it's going to be. LaMarcus Aldridge is going to be starting at the five for them. Blake Griffin will still come off the bench, but I mean, like they got talent across the board. When you think of they have Landry Shamet over there, who's a phenomenal shooter. Obviously, we know the talents that Kyrie, Harden, and KD are already. You got a young guy in Claxton who's definitely developed a ton. DeAndre Jordan. I mean, I've made the case for a long time now. I don't think DeAndre Jordan is a starting caliber center anymore, but he can still give you something. Where do the minutes come in for these guys? Like the sacrifices have to come in now because, like we're talking about, they have too much talent.
Yeah, well, obviously signing over there, they had to know that there's going to be some sacrifices because, like I said, a lot of those guys play the same position, and at the stage that KD's at right now, he's low key playing the same position because they were playing him at the four before he kind of went down. Now, obviously, he can move to the three or maybe the five, but I think coming over there, they had to know that there's going to be a lot of sacrifices. I think Blake Griffin, with his injury history, probably doesn't care as much as playing as much minutes, and then really it comes down to playoff time and in a sense, you get when it really comes down to it, you could play all five of those guys together because you could play Aldridge at the five, Blake at the four, you play KD at the three, and then obviously Harden and Kyrie. So I figured we kind of talked about this on here before. Sometimes it doesn't matter who starts and who gets the most minutes; it just matters who's in the game when it's going to be decided towards the end.
And Antoine is going nuts in the comments right now. He got to quit messing around. uh, man. Well, I think that's going to be the case, though. I think that could be their closing lineup for sure, the quote unquote death lineup. But I don't know. I think at the end of the day, these guys still got egos, and that's going to be a testament to Steve Nash as a coach. How does he work all of this out?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. After that, it comes down to coaching. Like you said, you give Sean Marks and the Nets a kind of organization a big round of applause for what they were able to do, and the rest of it's on the coach and maybe the players to figure it out. Obviously, you guys all want to come here, you want to play together, so you know the sacrifices that you're gonna have to make. And if it all falls down, it's gonna fall down on KD first, but it's gonna come down on all you guys. So now the expectations are definitely there. Yeah, I got to figure it out.
Yeah, 100%. I made my point about Blake. I just want to say this too. Like one of the big reasons why like we were so down, or a lot of people were so down on him too. He just could not shake the injury bug in Detroit, and then he was just in such a horrendous situation over there.
Let's just call it how it is. Detroit is like no one wants to be playing basketball in Detroit right now. Detroit's organization is not looking too good right now. They brought some new guys in last summer with Troy Reber and stuff. They're going through a full rebuild, so Detroit just seems like basketball. Like I don't even know what to say. Like nobody wants to be over there. Like it's like a basketball freaking
It's purgatory.
yeah. Like it's just so he might have been playing to get his way out of there. So like obviously you've seen with the Nets, his first play was a dunk. Obviously we still know he could dunk. He just wasn't dunking in Detroit because it's like why would I? Like he just wanted to get out of Detroit.
Yeah, man. But I'm sticking to my point. It is a failed season if no, I'm not get to the finals, anything like that. Win it. I've been saying Philly could take them all year. I'm done with that. It's out the window. They should win the championship with the roster that they had. These dudes, they don't even have like you don't be like, oh, they got all this big three, like this all-star big three. They got an all-star team.
Yeah, I mean I picked them to win before anything, so like this just kind of enhances my point. So I don't have no big change like you. I picked them to win before this, so I figured they should have been able to win with KD and Kyrie, and then when they got Harden, it was kind of more of a they should definitely win now. So with these guys, it's kind of like you say, they should definitely win. But I've been feeling like this for a while.
Yeah, man, for sure. I guess on the other front, we got to talk about Andre Drummond signing with the Lakers. That was a much needed move for the Lakers. They needed a man in the middle. That's definitely what they were lacking. He's supposed to start at the five over Gasol. Which, I mean, I agree with that, but that's Good for the Lakers. They for sure needed to make that happen. And then I definitely believe they're going to be sliding in the standings with no AD, no LeBron. But we'll see what happens when they get back to full strength. But not even with that much need to move. I'm not very high on them right now.
Yeah, obviously, nothing, no move they make, unless to get another superstar in there, it's gonna matter if LeBron and AD aren't healthy. So, good move, like you said, and obviously maybe Drummond doesn't go there if the Nets don't try stacking the deck over there. So he wants to go over there and maybe be able to compete with those guys, and maybe that enticed him to go over there. But it's like if AD's not healthy, if Bron's not healthy, it doesn't matter what moves they make. So, congratulations. You got someone who's a little more athletic, a little younger than Gasol, but he's not tipping you over the top without those guys.
Yeah, nah. It's still waiting to see what DeMarcus Cousins does. By the way, the Nets are also trying to get DeMarcus Cousins.
Well, what we kind of seen from DeMarcus Cousins recently, I wouldn't be surprised if he goes over there and signs with those guys. Obviously, I don't see why he would if he wants to play too much, because obviously, if you look at all those guys, Blake has dealt with some injuries. LaMarcus Aldridge hasn't dealt with no crazy injuries, really. To me, Cousins is the odd man out, especially not unless there's an injury or something. But he's been injury. He's been kind of
He's
injury
the
prone
odd
recently.
man out over DeAndre Jordan.
Yeah, no, I'm saying because you think about their five. The five is going to be Blake, LaMarcus Aldridge. I mean, he's going to get some minutes, but like I said, he's not going to get that much minutes when it really matters. Is what I'm kind of saying. So he's going to be the odd man out. Really, I mean, they're gonna still gonna play DeAndre Jordan because he's more athletic and he's younger. No, I don't know. They're probably around the same age. Just because he's more athletic and he's not as injury prone right now, so he's not gonna come in and get too much minutes, and then it kind of just doesn't make any sense to me.
If I'm the Nets, like, I guess kind of what's the point of even going after him? Because him and like you have Blake and LaMarcus, they both kind of do things that he does. They can, as far as distributing the ball, that presence in the post, things like that. I guess because he can shoot a little bit, but I don't know that is it just for the point to them to piss off the fans even more.
And that's my point about he's gonna be the odd man out from just like I said, he's those guys do the same thing he does. He's more injury prone, and then we just think about those guys maybe just be better players right now. Now at their height, maybe Cousins was the better player, but we kind of don't know what you're gonna get from Cousins right now. In a sense, Golden State really didn't work out. We thought Houston could work out for him, but Houston really didn't work out.
We have no idea what Houston is doing, and Houston clearly lost that James Harden trade.
Yeah, they clearly lost it. And I seen their GM say that he's not even regretting any part of the trade right now. I think they definitely should be regretting not taking Karis LeVert, but I said that when the trade went down.
Yeah, a lot of us definitely said that. My man Joshua Barksdale, what's going on, brother? Yes, the Nets are going to the finals. They should go all the way. It is a failed season if they do not go all the way. They are more stacked than the Warriors ever were. They're more stacked. Here's an old school one for you guys. More stacked than the '04 Lakers.
They. I don't know if they're more stacked than the Warriors.
They have the three. We can make the argument that those three are the greatest, collection or the greatest assembled players ever, with just how talented the three of them are. So they have that going for them. And then you're adding a LaMarcus Aldridge and a Blake Griffin to that as well.
Right. I don't like. I don't know. Maybe because we've seen kind of what the Warriors were able to do and how dominant they were able to be with this team. We kind of it's obviously they just got together, so that the jury's still out on them. But I think looking at it, if I had to pick a winner, I'm taking the Warriors.
Nah, I don't know if I could do that. I don't know if I could do that
I think those Warriors teams with KD would beat this Nets team.
with KD.
Yes.
KD look. I mean, it's been a while since he played, but when he played this season, he looked like the same guy. Matter of fact, he looked phenomenal. Didn't look exactly like the same guy, but just barely, which makes it even more scarier. And we see what Kyrie and James Harden are doing without him. Like, nah, because we already know Steph's not taking no. They'll make Steph look foolish on that side of the ball all day because we've seen them do it before. And then now you got both of them. He's not taking those assignments. I like Dre. But if Dre never played for the Warriors, we wouldn't be talking. Dre, how many times would Dre have made the All-Star team?
Here's the thing about Dre. I think Dre is taking Blake Griffin, and he's taking LaMarcus Aldridge out the game. Like I don't know. I don't think we got into his comments about being the best defensive player ever, which is not true. But we can get into that too. But what I've seen from Draymond, he could take. I'm not worried about Blake Griffin, especially not at this point, and I'm not worried really too much. I don't want to say that about LaMarcus Aldridge. Let me rephrase that comment for a second. But we don't really know what we're getting from LaMarcus Aldridge right now. But still, I think Draymond he's definitely taking Blake out the game, and I think he'll make it real tough for LaMarcus Aldridge. He's taking Blake out the game.
Are you going? Or is that based on the Clippers Warriors like series of the past, of the games of the past?
No, it's just based off the defense I've seen from Draymond and how I've been able to see him really take big men out of the game.
These ain't your regular schmegular big men though.
Yeah, like Blake Griffin is cool and all.
Yo, this guy, tell your brother to relax, man. He's bugging out right now.
Blake Griffin is cool and all, but I think Draymond especially at that point, I'm definitely taking Draymond to be able to take those two out the game a little bit.
I'm not looking at the comment section though.
So then it comes down to KD, Kyrie, and I just felt like that Warriors team was just a more well-oiled machine. Like I said, maybe being able to look back at it in hindsight because we don't know what this Nets team is going to be right now and how basically all these pieces are going to fit together. But I think those Warriors teams, and with the way they move the ball, I think the Warriors team will knock off this Nets team.
I'm going to be the first one to say it. As far as talent goes, this is the greatest team ever.
Maybe, but I don't think they're beating them. I wouldn't pick them in a 7-game series.
I would take Brooklyn in 6.
Over the Warriors? Over those Warriors team? No. No.
I'm riding and dying with that comment. Live by that.
I'm taking the Warriors in 6. And also Harden is known to fold a little bit.
He's not going to be he's not that guy on this team though. That's the thing. He's folded and he's always been the man when he's folded. He is not the man on this team. We know who the man is on this team.
First of all, I want to get into this too. He folded in that final series. But here's the thing. I was watching 2 interviews.
They was young boys. You can't do that. You can't do that. They was young boys. They was puppies, bro. They was still wearing diapers.
I watched 2 interviews this weekend, right? Which one do I want to bring up first? I bring up the one with Kendrick Perkins first. Kendrick Perkins was on All the Smoke. He was talking about that finals run. He said that when they went to Miami, James Harden couldn't stay out of the strip club. King of Diamonds and all that. And that's part of the reason why they couldn't get a win. Second interview I was watching, Udonis Haslem, also on All the Smoke, came on there and said that the Heat's game plan that series was to let KD and Russ do their thing. Spoelstra drew up, worry about Harden. That was their game plan. They doubled Harden off of all pick and rolls. Their game plan was to stop Harden. I mean, obviously, I guess in that sense, the defense was focused on him. But, I don't care how old they were. First of all, if they end up playing Miami, which I'm going to say this right now, if they end up playing Miami, I'm taking the Heat.
Who, the Nets?
Because of Kendrick Perkins' comments, if they end up playing Miami, I'm taking the Heat. James Harden.
Can we post this for future references?
James Harden's gonna.
I think they're gonna end up with the 1 seed.
James Harden's gonna smoke it in the strip club, and he's gonna bring Blake Griffin with him.
And I don't care what James Harden is doing. What's that meme with the NBA player and they got the cigarette in their ear? Like, Nah, man.
I
Nah.
we seen what Kyrie was able to do in the finals. We seen, I guess I wouldn't say that, but we seen what KD was able to do in the finals too. I'm not worried about Blake. I'm not worried about Aldridge. I think Harden. I guess like you say, he's not the man on this team, but I think they'll find a way to take Harden out of this game. I think the Warriors will draw up a similar game plan where we're gonna worry about Harden. We're gonna let KD and Kyrie be KD and Kyrie. And
But what
that.
about all them other guys though?
What other guys? What other guys?
LaMarcus Aldridge and Blake
I
Griffin.
told Draymond Green's putting them in his back pocket.
No way. No way.
And then and
I'm not paying attention to Antoine
and then
no more.
and
Bro,
then
he's
Iggy
blocked out these comments.
Iggy is gonna be on KD. And then KD is gonna be on.
Iggy's not locking down KD.
Uh, Obviously he's not gonna lock him down, but Iggy makes it real tough for players. He made it real tough for Bron. He made it real tough for KD in the past. Iggy makes it real tough. He makes it real tough for players. That's all we need.
He made it real tough for Bron. What did Bron average in those finals? Yeah, he made him sweat a little bit, but
That's all we need. That's what we need right there. We need to make him sweat a little bit. That's all.
but
The
that
next,
when he did that, who else was this guy playing with? Like that team was up there with '07 Cavaliers. You
yeah,
get Kyrie, you get at least Kyrie or K Love in that 2015 series. The Cavs might be NBA champs.
also 2016 that Warriors series.
They folded.
In a sense, but Iguodala's whole defense for that run was basically their most important player on defense. So all we need to do is make him sweat because who on the Nets is making KD sweat? Well, the KD on the Warriors. Is KD got to make KD sweat? No. KD doesn't. He's a very good defender, but I don't think
That'd be fun to watch.
I don't think KD's worried about KD on defense. Let's be honest. I'm taking KD's offense over his defense all day. That's an easy 30 in his back pocket.
Can we agree that the Brooklyn Nets should be your NBA champs this year, and anything less is a failure?
Yeah, obviously, but they're not being that Warriors team.
Nah, I strongly disagree.
And I guess I don't want to play James Harden, but in a sense, we obviously know like he's gotten better on defense, and his post defense is really good. But I think they're gonna. I think that Warriors offense is gonna get off against them. The Nets defense is not that good. The Nets what are they gonna do against that offense?
Okay. The Nets defense has not been that good, but then let's take into the fact with these new pieces that they have over there. It's not the same defense it was when we were questioning could they win it because of that.
That's worse. If they switching everything. That's Steph and KD on an island with Blake Griffin and LaMarcus Aldridge. Like that's a bucket every time. Like I'm taking the Warriors.
All right, man, we gotta agree to disagree on that one.
Like if you're all right, if you're the Nets, what is your game plan to stop them on defense? What are you doing?
You look at what past teams did. Why was San Antonio up 20 on them in game one? Why? How did? Yeah, I actually think that would have been I think San Antonio would have won that game had Kawhi not got hurt.
But y'all don't have a Kawhi on your team. They have a Kawhi. The Nets do not have a Kawhi on their team.
They got KD.
Who you did not just mention KD's name when it comes to defense with Kawhi? Like no, stop it. No, they do have KD, but that's not Kawhi Leonard on defense.
Man, did you not forget what he said a couple of years ago? I'm Kevin Durant.
Yeah, on offense, we're talking.
Kevin Durant
on offense. We're talking defense. Like they don't have. That's what I'm saying. They don't have a Kawhi Leonard for a KD. They have a KD for a KD. No. You know who Kawhi? Like he's a 2-time defensive player of the year as a guard. Like, nah. They don't have a Kawhi Leonard, so that game plan is not going to work. You got to give me another one.
We gotta agree to disagree.
You can't, and that's where they're going to fail. Their defense is going to fail them in that series. The Warriors are going to pick that defense apart, and that's why the Warriors are going to get that one.
Did you guys see what my man Brody Russell Westbrook did last night? Did you not see it? I am tired of the disrespect on this man's name. Scott Brooks said it and I put it in my Instagram story. Follow me if you don't at Rich Report 94. When it comes down to it, he's one of the greatest point guards of all time. You are either going to accept these facts or you're not. I've been saying this on this show and off this show for years. For the job that you want of what a point guard is supposed to be, what a point guard is supposed to be, he's the definition of it. You want to talk about empty stats? They're not empty stats. This man has been averaging double-digit assists since he last played with Kevin Durant in Oklahoma City. So let's dispel the myth of selfishness there, because it's not true. I'm sorry. Most triple doubles of any guard ever. How many assists was it last night?
I think he had 21.
First player ever to have 35, 21 ever.
Yeah, well, we've known Westbrook to put up big numbers like this. He had a 2020 game. Obviously, they really needed it because they really need a win over there in Washington. I think it was, it was a very impressive game. But not that I'm on the same page as Stephen A. Smith, but it's like, yes, obviously, I don't think it's debatable. He's going to go down as one of the greatest point guards, definitely the most athletic point guard. He's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. But at this point, the critics are always going to say, like, where's the ring at? You're going to, like, we've seen the numbers. Obviously, the haters are going to say stat padding, but where's the ring at? That's what everyone's going to say.
That is literally why Kevin Durant went to Golden State, because of that narrative right there. Why can't we appreciate these players for what they do? Why do we always have to go to the championship? Obviously, when we're talking about GOAT status and things like that, yeah, the championship matters. But we're just talking about how great he is, period. Why do we keep having to go to that championship narrative? It kills the game.
Unfortunately, that championship narrative is taking over everything. If you look at the moves that we just talked about the Nets, you look at the moves that LaMarcus Aldridge and Blake Griffin just made, it's all off that championship narrative. Everyone needs to get a ring. Everyone needs to do that. That's just how it goes. And that's just what the critics are going to keep saying. Obviously, y'all know how appreciative and how great I know Russell Westbrook is. So I don't think I need to come over here and say it. But the haters are going to be the haters. The critics are going to be the critics. And that's always what he's going to get from now on. The numbers are not going to matter to the critics because they see the numbers from him already. They're not worried about that no more. You got to find another reason to hate.
So that's it. So they're haters at the end of the day. And we know Russ doesn't care about that, but it doesn't change the fact this man is literally one of the greatest point guards ever. I am willing to put him up there with the best of the best. Not saying he's better, but I'm willing to put him up there with the best of the best. He's transformed everywhere he's been. Oklahoma City is not Oklahoma City without Russell Westbrook, ever. They're a 6th seed in the playoffs his MVP season because of him. They made it with Paul George because of him. That team did not play well when they first came together. Like in Houston, the amazing regular season Houston had, big part because of him and how he distributes the ball. Obviously, Washington has their issues and everything. Bradley Beal's actually hurt right now. I still think Washington might get into the postseason, but they're where they're at as far as success goes because of him. And if you put him on another team, they're going to be successful because of what he brings to the table. You want a guy that's going to be able to control the pace of play, speed it up, slow it down. He does that for you. Defenses are going to have to zone him on him because of what he does. He literal assists. I'm telling you right now, this dude is one of the best passers. Like if you go to the stats, his success rate on 3-point on getting a 3-point shooters, it's damn good.
Yes, everything you said is true, and I'm going to play devil advocate here. And what people are going to say, like, you made some great points. Like, a lot of things are because of him, but also a lot of negative things are because of him too. A lot of people will say they did not win because of him. A lot of people would say that some offenses aren't as good because of him, because he can't shoot, because he turns the ball over a lot. So a lot of things is like, yes, because of him, which on the good side. But there's also, well, the haters are gonna say, there's also a lot of negatives that come with because of him. So like, yes, he does all these great things, but he does a lot of negative things, and some people would say he didn't get a ring because of him.
I mean, yeah, he's his own. He is his own worst enemy. I can't deny that. The things that make Russell Westbrook great are also the things that set him back. I cannot deny that. My whole point of this whole soliloquy is let's give the man his flowers while he's still here. Because, like we like to say with LeBron and his detractors, when he is gone, you will miss him.
Yeah, I think that goes without saying. I think the same thing with Harden. Harden gets a lot of hate too. I think for a lot of these great players who get a lot of hate, I think it needs to be said that we should appreciate them while they're here. But the haters are gonna be the haters, and it's always gonna be that way. And then when they look back on it, they're gonna probably look back and say, you know what? I don't even know what I was hating for. Well, with Russell Westbrook, the reason why people are always gonna hate is because the same things that make you laugh can make you cry. So there's that.
Very good point. Let's move over to the NFL now, man. It was a huge, huge trade that went down. The Miami Dolphins sent well a couple huge trades. The Miami Dolphins sent the third overall pick in the NFL draft to the San Francisco 49ers. They got a bunch of future picks back, moved down to 12. A lot of draft capital there. Then they make a trade with the Philadelphia Eagles. Y'all see this jersey that's on right now. I'm about to go off. They made a trade with the Philadelphia Eagles, who tanked the last game of the season to keep the Giants out of the playoffs, just so they could say they had the sixth overall pick. The Philadelphia Eagles traded the sixth overall pick to the Miami Dolphins for the 12th overall pick to get behind the New York Giants in the draft. I don't know what is going on in Philadelphia or what they're thinking, but that's what they decided to do. So the Miami Dolphins go from 3 to 12 to 6, have a ton of draft capital. They got a ton of things that they can do. The San Francisco 49ers apparently have identified the court. They only have one quarterback in mind. That's why they moved up to 3. And they believe he will be there when they pick at 3. There's a lot to digest here because the New York Jets could have got a haul for that second overall pick. There's a rumor going around that something was offered to them by the San Francisco 49ers and they turned it down. So this pretty much tells me Sam Darnold is gone. Joe Douglas is drafting a quarterback when the draft comes around here pretty soon. Miami, no, go ahead.
Now I was gonna say it's not too surprising. We've been debating on here back and forth what they were gonna do, and I talked about it on here a lot. Like sometimes some people play the way it played out where they were is just not gonna work out. So sometimes a new situation may work out for them. So maybe the Jets are seeing that and they're trying to move on in another direction. So I'm not too surprised that Sam Darnold might be out of there.
Yeah, I don't understand why you would wait so long to move him, especially when it seems like you've identified the quarterback that you're going to take moving forward. There's a lot. This could go very well for the Jets, and it could also go very bad for the Jets in terms of a lot of people, myself included, think that Sam Darnold can still be a pretty good pro. He was dealt a very bad hand while he played for the Jets.
Yeah, in a sense, but I think maybe the Jets are looking at it as maybe you give Sam Darnold another year, you keep him on the roster, you bring someone in behind him who's going to push him, and maybe we can see what we can get out of him in this next year. Obviously, if he doesn't produce in this next year, you have a quarterback ready to take his place. Is he going to be a free agent after next year?
Yeah, they have the chance to pick up his option. They're not doing that.
Yeah, so he'll be a free agent next year. Maybe you let him walk, and then you have someone to take his place, and that also gives the rookie quarterback who does come in a chance to maybe learn under him, maybe learn what he's not doing, what he is doing, and just learn from him who's been in the league for a couple years. So maybe they don't want to hand their quarterback situation over right to this rookie. They want to give him a year to learn, and then they have Sam Darnold on the roster, and then you go from there after that year.
I don't think that that's going to be the case, though. I think if they're drafting a quarterback, he is gone. They're going to try everything to get him out of there. Like, forgot what team it was where we saw this before. They took a quarterback and they started moving their guy out of there. I mean, the only other time that we saw like otherwise was with the Chargers when they were in San Diego when they had Drew Brees and then they drafted Philip. Well, they didn't draft him, but they traded the Giants in the draft to get the draft rights to Philip Rivers. And then Drew Brees was there for, I think, another year with Philip Rivers behind him. And then Drew Brees gets hurt. The rest is history. But, I mean, like, I think if they take a quarterback, Sam Darnold is gone. Like, I can't see a world where they draft a quarterback and keep Sam Darnold there.
Yeah, I think
because you're gonna put a whole bunch of egg on your face if you draft a quarterback with the second overall pick, and then Sam Darnold turns out to play well. Because now you just completely wasted your draft pick.
Yeah, in a sense, but maybe even if he does play well, then maybe they just want to boost his stock so they can get a trade for him. Maybe they end up trading him at the trade deadline next year. So maybe if you think about it, Sam Darnold's stock is not that high right now. So
No.
he does end up playing well. You get more for him later on down the line, and then you can move that rookie quarterback in mid-season or whatever when he still has some time to learn. You give him the end of the season to learn from like the beginning of the season to be like him learning from watching and seeing what Sam Darnold does. You get rid of Sam Darnold on the high, you get more pieces for him, and then you let the rookie quarterback come in and finish off the season, and then you go from there.
Yeah, we'll definitely see what that. The other one, because like I said, there's a lot to digest here. I'm not going to even talk about the Eagles. Like you guys kind of know that one just made me disgusted. But with the 49ers, they can keep telling us Jimmy Garoppolo is their guy, but sooner or later they're going to have to get rid of him because they have identified their quarterback. And I believe them to a degree. I think that they plan on having Jimmy Garoppolo as their starting quarterback for this season. But whether it's at the trade deadline or next offseason, I believe Jimmy Garoppolo is out of there. The best ability is availability. He has not been available for, a good chunk of his career, even for his time with the Patriots. When they needed him to suit up when Tom Brady was going through his suspension, he looked very good. Then he got hurt. And, also you got to take into account what the 49ers ceiling is with him at quarterback. They were able to get to a Super Bowl because of him. They also lost a Super Bowl because of him. So, I mean, they Kyle Shanahan and the group over there are kind of looking for a guy that they can maximize their offense in. We don't know. I think Zach Wilson is off the board. I think there's no question the Jets are taking Zach Wilson with the second overall pick. So now you got to think, is it Trey Lance from North Dakota State or is it Justin Fields who just ran a 4.4 from Ohio State?
I'm not sure. I think maybe Justin Fields should be the pick there. But like you said, when the 49ers made it to the Super Bowl, when the 49ers made it to the Super Bowl a few years back, a lot of people didn't think Garoppolo was a big – well, he was obviously a big reason, but a lot of people thought the defense was the biggest reason why they was able to make it there. So I think even then it was like not that the writing was on the wall, but people felt like they could upgrade that point guard then. So it could be like another situation I was just saying. I don't know if you get rid of him right away. If you bring in a rookie quarterback, not unless they're like that confident in this rookie quarterback to be able to come in and make that big of a impact, I think it'll be another situation where like you let Garoppolo be there for a little bit, you bring the other quarterback in, let him learn under him, and then maybe move him later on. But like you said, we kind of seen what their ceiling is with him. So maybe they feel like bringing another rookie quarterback, eventually the ceiling will be higher. But I don't really know. Because their ceiling with him is a Super Bowl. I don't think bringing in a rookie quarterback right now, their ceiling automatically would be like a Super Bowl. I think it would take a couple years for him, the rookie quarterback to develop and things like that. So I think they'll go for a quarterback, but I think it still might be a year or so before maybe he fully takes over the team.
Yeah, and I agree with that. I think I believe them. Jimmy Garoppolo is their guy for now. That's the key word, for now.
Yeah.
And I'm not comparing any of these guys to Patrick Mahomes. I am not doing that. I promise you. But we've seen what a guy who comes in second year in the league, first year starter does in him. First year AFC Championship. If it wasn't for D Ford, he's probably playing in a Super Bowl his first year as a starter. So I mean, like it's not like it can't be done, right? And I just with the offense that Kyle Shanahan wants to run, a guy like Justin Fields or Trey Lance can definitely maximize their potential with their athletic ability and things like that.
Yeah, I wouldn't say nothing's impossible, but I think having a veteran on the team right now, especially if they want to make it back to the Super Bowl, just seems like a better option right now. Like obviously, anything can happen. A rookie can come in, and we talked. I just brought it up. Their defense was really good at that time. They made a run to the Super Bowl, so obviously, maybe the quarterback doesn't have to be the greatest quarterback, but he has to be solid. And I think a rookie quarterback can maybe come in and be solid and kind of just the points that you just brought up. Maybe they might fit better within the offense with them being more athletic and maybe a little more mobile. So obviously they can maybe lead them to the Super Bowl, but I think maybe having both on the roster right now maybe just be like a safeguard type of thing. So it'd be interesting to kind of see how they go. But like you said, like obviously right now he's their quarterback, but bringing in another quarterback obviously means that it's just for right now and kind of you're on the clock. But sometimes, in some situations, that's all you need to give you a little push, a little motivation. So maybe they can get the best out of him, and then again maybe trade him while he's high, and then still have there's this rookie quarterback waiting. Kind of like maybe what's going on with Green Bay. They took a quarterback last year. We was all surprised, and they're kind of just waiting maybe for things to go wrong with Aaron Rodgers and. They're gonna
Keep
just
waiting.
move on too. They're just gonna
Keep waiting.
move on too. Maybe some teams just like to have that safeguard back there for them.
I told you guys. I don't know if it was last week or the week before. Keep an eye on that Green Bay situation. Aaron Rodgers wants some assurance he's going to be around for a while. So keep an eye on that one. But to get back on topic, like I said, a lot to digest here. Moving on from the Jets and then San Francisco, we go to Miami, and Miami making all these moves. This clearly tells us that they're going full steam ahead with Tua Tagovailoa. Because we there were a lot of rumors coming into this. Maybe they don't like him, even though it's only been a year, and they're gonna take a quarterback in this draft. They're clearly going ahead with him. They're gonna try their best to build around him with this draft because they got a ton of draft picks. But there's no way that they can lose in this situation. You can develop him, put a ton of talent around him, even if you want to trade some of that draft capital to get some other talent to bring around him and see how far he can take you. Because, that team definitely looks like it's going places. But then on the other hand from that, if it doesn't work out with him, you have a ton of draft capital, and I'm not saying it's going to happen because nobody is trading for this man right now with the situation he's dealing with. But you have all the draft capital in the world to trade the Texans to get Deshaun Watson over there.
Yeah, definitely. I think wasn't Miami on his list, or was that
yeah?
Yeah.
No. They yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, like you said, they're in a good spot. They got a lot of draft capital, and I thought they were kind of high on Tua. I guess maybe not, but I guess maybe the fans are. The fans really like Tua out here. I know that for sure. So that's interesting. Like you said, you with a young quarterback like that, sometimes you gotta just see. You got to try your best to put him in the best position and kind of see what you can get out of him. And then, like you said, if it doesn't work out, then it's a win-win for you because, like you said, you got the draft capital. You got to see what kind of quarterback he could be, and you didn't maybe have to move too much or do too much. And then you kind of go from there. And obviously, while you're putting the pieces around him to be great, that means when another quarterback comes in, the pieces are around them too. So I think like they're in a win-win situation here with him being so young too. And I think also him being so young, and I think he's shown some flashes. I think they could get maybe a little bit for him too if they do end up deciding to trade him.
Yeah, like I said, there's a lot to go into the Miami situation. I think it's a complete win-win for them because there's so much that they can do. But the plan for right now, definitely build around Tua, see where he develops. You got a great coaching staff over there with Flores and company, and Just see what you can do, because like I said, they're definitely building something over there. They want to see if they have that quarterback, but if they don't, they have the draft capital in place to go get one. So
Yeah.
and it's a big quarterback carousel when you think it's not just Deshaun Watson. I just told you guys a couple minutes ago, watch out for that Green Bay situation. In the near future, we know things aren't so well in Seattle with Russell Wilson either. So there's definitely some things in play.
Yeah, now I was gonna say that, and keeping them to another quarterback or like the Green Bay situation or Seattle situation, you see what kind of quarterback he can be, and maybe those quarterbacks open up, and you ended up trading him, so people get more of a look at him. Like I said, he's shown flashes to see, but if he shows more flashes and things like that, and then another quarterback opens up, it just might be perfect timing for maybe them to make the move. So them waiting too also helps them because more quarterbacks may become available.
Yeah, for sure. Also want to add to this, man. All of these moves in the draft that happened this past week is great. It is great for the New York Football Giants, because all these teams are going to be taking quarterbacks early on. So it's going to be pickings once you get lower in the draft, and it's pretty much best player available. If they want to take a wide receiver, they can do it. If they want to take Penei Sewell, the lineman from Oregon, they can do that. If they want to address another need, which is an edge rusher, they can do that. The way that this is setting up for them, one of these players that you would think would be going in the top 5 or top 7, because of these moves that were made to try and get a quarterback over there, they could end up landing one of the best players in the draft that's not at the quarterback position for them.
Yeah, definitely. And with the moves that the Giants were able to make during this offseason, I think I gotta watch out for the Giants here, man. We've been waiting for it. We've been getting on Gettleman and things like that. So things might just fall into place. They made some decent moves, like you said. They can go a lot of different positions right now, and like you said, the draft might decide where they want to go. Whatever best player kind of falls to them may decide where they want to go. So like you said, we'll watch out for the Giants here, man.
Yeah, man. Like I said before, when they were making all these moves too, there's no excuses for Daniel Jones anymore. I'm aware that the line isn't as great as it can be, but the defense is very good. He's got all the weapons in the world. We talked about name 8 teams with the better, skill position players than them. You really can't. I mean, you can name teams with better a better core of skill position players, but you can't name 8 teams with a better core of skill position players than the Giants. So for him, it's no excuses. It's the fate of their season is literally in his hands. And we're talking about that quarterback carousel going on, whether it's a Deshaun Watson, and unfortunately, we don't really know what his situation, what's going to happen with him because of what he's dealing with outside of football. But think of Seattle. You think of what could happen in Green Bay. I don't know if you remember about 2 years ago, Tyrann Mathieu said Russell Wilson wanted New York. He wanted to go to the Giants. Maybe that's something that could still happen. So if Daniel Jones isn't your guy, you don't have to draft a quarterback. If you have too good of a season anyway, go out and trade for one.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
And then you have the team in place to have that success. You just got to get your quarterback in there.
Yeah, it's just like another Miami situation where like you keep him, you let him see what if those flashes can turn into him being a great player, and if not, you can get rid of him. And it's New York. People want to come to New York. The Giants are still the Giants. The Giants are not the Jets. I'm gonna take a shot at the Jets here. And people still want to play in New York. People, whether New Jersey, New York, whatever it is, people want to play in New York. And the Giants have always they have a historic franchise, so people want to come here. So I think, especially with them having the pieces and things looking like it's turning around, and I think the coach over there, Joe Judge, I believe, he's shown that he can be a good coach. So I think with everything in place, that New York is always going to be a place where people want to come, unfortunately.
Yeah, and he's shown that guys want to play for him too. Like these free agents that came because he convinced them to come. Like they want to play for him. So definitely something brewing over there. Just gotta wait and see. Some big news happened today. We talked about this, some months back, but it's official now. No more 16-game season in the NFL with that, CBA agreement between the owners and the players. We will now have a 17 game season starting this year, 2021 season in the NFL. Now, we gave you guys our thoughts on this when we talked about it when the CBA when an agreement happened with the CBA. And obviously players weren't happy about it. You've seen Alvin Kamara say he thought it was stupid. And I gave you my thoughts. I didn't think it was good for the players at all. For the owners, it's good because they can get that money. There's going to be less preseason games, but an extra game in. But I gotta say this though, at the end of the day, the players agreed to this. Maybe not all of them, but there were guys that didn't vote. And you can't. This goes for everything. You can't complain when you did not vote. So at the end of the day, they voted for this. And that's why you can't feel too bad for them.
Yeah, because obviously having an extra game means more revenue, and I think they were trying to decide the revenue, and the owners the players wanted more money, but the owners didn't want to give up more money. So the only way for that to happen is to add another game where everyone gets more money. So that's more money for the players, that's more money for the owners and things like that. So, and in that sense, like you said, you can't really complain if I can't blame nobody for getting their money, but you can't really complain if you wanted to go get that money. You can't really complain if you didn't vote. So it's gonna be interesting to see how teams play it. I know I was watching First Take. They said that some players should only be limited to playing 16 games. They said that some players, but now it's kind of on the coach to see how they're gonna decide. Obviously, when they were talking about it on there, it's what like in the NBA, you could take nights off. Like if the NBA, if you're before when you were playing the Knicks, you could take a night off. So like it wouldn't affect you too much. But the NFL not being as many games is going to be interesting to see how some coaches play it and how some players play it. Are you going to play all 17 games? Are you only going to play 16 games and maybe take a game off? But then it's going to be like, what game can you take off, or what game are you going to take off that may cost your team a win or a lose? And that 17th game may matter for where you end up placing in the playoffs, especially now with some teams not getting the first round bye no more. So it seems like it's gonna be interesting just to see how everyone plays it from here, because this brings a whole new dynamic into the game.
Yeah, and also no more 8-8. We will have a team finish 9-8 or 8-9. No, unfortunately, no more 8-8. So that kind of stinks.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. So now there's no more finishing even. You're either over or under. So everyone got to take the over or under.
Yeah, but you got the expanded playoffs in place with this as well. So I mean, you get 17 games, expanded playoffs. You got to kind of imagine what's to come. I think when the next collective bargaining agreement comes up in a couple years from now, I think the players are probably going to want to really push for change this time. Like the NFL is definitely in a little bit of a renaissance with everything that we've seen from the NBA and a little bit of the MLB as well. But I definitely think that because you have a lot of disgruntled players, and they tried their best with this past CBA, but because you have a lot of disgruntled players, we're definitely going to see a change moving forward.
Yeah, definitely. And I may be wrong, but I think last time it all depends on how much players are gonna want to have that lockout. You saw what the NBA had to do almost like a decade ago. Now they had to have that lockout. So are players going to be prepared to sit out that lockout, and how long are they going to let the lockout go? I think that's kind of what it depends on. Our players going to put their foot down, especially now this new 17th game that's generating more money. The extra playoff game that they got that's generating more money. So there's a lot more money out there, and I think they just signed a new contract, like a new TV deal. I think the Super Bowl is coming back to ESPN.
Yes. Yeah, they're gonna move Monday Night Footballs to ABC, which allows them to get the Super Bowl back to the Disney family, which is great, by the way. That I had been saying for a long time that they needed to start bringing it to ABC. It's not like it's going to be a different crew or anything. It's still ESPN, just on the ABC network instead. So you get it on those prime, I guess what's the prime time channels you can call it, just like CBS, NBC, and Fox. And the other great thing about it for ESPN is they get the ability to flex games, because that was one of the things you talk about Monday Night Football. Not the games that they get for Monday Night Football usually aren't games people really want to watch. So now they get to flex games for Monday Night Football.
Yeah, definitely. So that's even more money out there. If I don't remember the numbers right now, but I think it was like a $25 billion contract. So that's even more revenue being put into their little money pot over there. So there's a lot more money being out there. So with all that being said, they might want to maybe hold out and get more money. So that's gonna be interesting to see how they play it.
Yeah, man, for sure, for sure. I don't know if I got anything else, man. I want to thank you guys for tuning in. The comment section was good. You guys kind of slowed up on us a little bit at the end, but nonetheless, it was a good one. I like all the comments in here.
Yeah, I want to address my Syracuse Orange right now. Obviously, we went out in the Sweet 16, unfortunately, but a lot of players seem like they're leaving the program with these new transfer rules going down in the NCAA. It seems like there's going to be a lot of movement there. I'm very, very unhappy that my guy Kadari is going to be transferring. We talked about him on here when Matt came on here. Very good guard, 6'5", and I thought he was going to be big for us. Well, he was big for us against Houston in that first half. So to see him go is kind of unfortunate, but I can't blame him too much. He would have been battling with it would have been like the same rotation like it was this year. He would have been battling with Joe Girard and Buddy for minutes where he can go somewhere else and maybe start and get more of an opportunity there. And then Braswell, he ended up leaving too. He came on pretty late. People thought he was going to transfer last year, but he ends up leaving out. And then they said there's more to come. One of the players transferred said that the dominoes are just starting to fall. I think Woody might be next, which is also unfortunate. So, and Boeheim came out after the game when they lost to Houston saying that they're going to have to work the transfer market. I think there's a record now of how many people have been in the transfer portal right now. So, gonna have a whole new team next year. We still gotta see what Alec Griffin and them are gonna do, but it's unfortunate to see how this is all turning out. Rich, we cannot
Excuse me,
hear.
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good.
Go
Yeah,
ahead.
it was definitely a tough one. To see Q's go down like that and see all these players go down. Well, not go down, but decide to leave Syracuse for their own personal reasons. That was kind of something not totally expected, but that was what we when we talked about the team in place and who was getting minutes and who wasn't getting minutes. That was a little bit of an expectation. So, but I mean, Coach Boeheim, he's been phenomenal. Just added another Sweet 16 to a number of them. His son will be back next year. So I mean, they'll be okay. I don't know if they make a little bit of a run like they did this year. Got to see the team that they put together. I know the thing that we had, great question by the way. When we had Matt on, was would they try and get Coach Boeheim's other son over there? I believe he's at Cornell right now, right?
Yeah, and Cornell didn't even have a season this year.
Yeah, all the Ivies canceled their sports seasons for the year with the COVID situation going on. But I mean, and you can never count out Cuse and Coach Boeheim. So
Yeah, the transfer market, there's a lot of players in there, so it's to see how it plays out. I thought Kadari was gonna be a really really good player, so it's unfortunate to see him leave. I think Woody's waiting to see kind of if Gary entered the draft. He put his name in the draft and gonna see how that goes. I think he's waiting to see if he ends up staying in there. Maybe what Dolajai ends up doing. I think that'll open up some spots for him to maybe move forward. And he played well in the minutes that he was able to get in, but Boeheim just didn't like how he practiced, which is kind of unfortunate for him. But there might be some minutes there. A top five, I think he might be in the top 50 recruit right now. I mean, top a 5-star recruit. I think he's in the top 50 right now. Benny's coming in next year, so there's that. Joe Girard said he'll be back, so their two guards will be back. Benny will be in the front line. So it's interesting to see what Jesse's gonna do. He played well in that last game. If he comes back, seems like he'll slide in at the starting center. So that seems like 4 positions right now. But they said the domino's falling, so we're gonna have to see who else may leave.
yeah, for sure, for sure. I want to thank you guys for tuning in again. You guys gave us the feedback. Definitely like that bracket breakdown that we did for the NCAA Wrestling Championships. The Olympic team trials are on the way this weekend, so we got something coming for you guys. Thursday might be out Saturday. I mean, not Saturday, Friday. And just look out for who might be on there with me.
All right, well, way to leave it off. You know how I say thank everyone for coming. Thank everybody that left. You know what it is, man. See y'all next time.
Appreciate the support. Peace.